Now let's talk about how the Forward Seamen's Union of India has released the explosive video footage exposing a terrifying military assault on Indian seafarers by the Iranian state forces in the Strait of Hormuz. The Maritime Union revealed that on April 22nd, a merchant vessel carrying 22 crew members, including 21 Indian nationals, was aggressively surrounded and fired upon by small boats belonging to the IRGC. Now, rather than the sea pirates that's being claimed at that point of time. Now, the dramatic footage captures the absolute terror on board as an RPG is fired directly at the vessel, forcing helpless Indian sailors to take a cover in the narrow ship alleyways to save their lives. Warning that the standard government advisories and safety guidelines are completely failing to handle this escalating geopolitical crisis, the FSUI is now demanding an immediate permanent deployment of Indian naval forces to provide concrete arm protection for the innocent seafarers operating through these high-risk waters. All right, to talk more on this, I'm now joined by the FSCUI General Secretary Manoj Yadav. Many thanks, Mr. Manoj Yadav, for joining with us. First of all, it's a horrific video that is in fact coming into light. And now everyone, of course, have been realizing the difficulty of seafarers ever since the escalation between Iran and US is concerned. First, you take us through, how difficult it is seeing this video. Take us through what exactly is happening in this particular video.
We have met with the crew who were there on board on that time on 22nd of April during the time of the attack, which is showing on the screen. It is really defining how serious and fears are there among the seafarers. It's not as simple as we are seeing or we are trying to analyze from India. But yes, in this condition, it is clearly showing numbers of small boats are coming around the vessel with weapons, RPG, and they continuously fired on board ship around 1 hour. On the same day, there were another 2 vessels got attacked in the same area, and this was the third vessel, where out of 22, 21 Indian seafarers were there. They were hiding in an alleyway we can easily access. There was a photo issued on our X as well. So this all situation is creating a chaos on board and among the seafarers in the Hormuz, Black Sea and Red Sea. We are continuously requesting, demanding to government to deploy the Indian Navy. It is not as easy as to release the advisory or the guidelines to the seafarers. What they will do at this situation, just imagine. They are not in uniform. They seem just like a pirates. It's not a pirate. They are well-trained military from the Iran IRGC. So the situation is not analyzed by a simple person sitting here in a studio or in my office. They face lots of challenges and they are still passing through the mental trauma and mental stress what they have faced on those days.
Mr. Manoj Yadav, I also want to ask you, when in general such seafarers, go on with their work, do they have, in fact, arms with them? Because I'm not just talking about IRGC or, for that matter, any of the government outfits. I'm talking about sea pirates issue is also something that is very concerning. So what do they have on board with them to protect themselves?
This is a commercial vessel, not a military vessel. We maximum have a fire hose and the fire hydrants by which we can just throw out the water with the higher speed to avoid the small boats, especially for the pirates. It is and in that condition, we don't have the weapons on board. Seafarers are not having weapons except few vessels who are hiring private agency. That to avoid the small boats coming nearby, not with the military boats having the RPG on board, and then it's not possible for anyone to stop them.
Why I asked you this is so basically the Indian seafarers are completely helpless. They don't have anything to protect themselves. They have no arms with them, nothing to actually defend themselves when such a situation happens, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. They are not trained for war. They are trained for working on a commercial ship. They are not aware how to take it forward. And it is not allowed on board to keep any kind of ammunition on the commercial vessel.
Also, so now let's talk about the demands of the FSCUI. Now, you have been saying that this is happening time and again and the Indian seafarers are completely helpless, and this video itself is very tragic to actually see how helpless the Indian seafarers are. So take us through what is really the demands of the FSCU right now.
We have flagged the issue multiple of times, demanding a common contact number released by the Indian Navy with the help of the Ministry of External Affairs, from where any vessels with the Indian crew, whether it is a national flag vessel or a foreign flag vessels, can directly communicate with the Navy within those areas. So deployment of Navy within the international water is must nowadays. Secondly, that India should come out strongly and file a petition with the United Nations against asking the independent inquiry and accountability of those who got killed in this Hormuz and the Black Sea,
Also,
apart
in
from the
fact,
compensation as well.
all right. So compensation and also a permanent deployment of the Indian naval forces. But is that something that is feasible? Do you think that if, if you demand this to the government could actually work something on these lines? Is that actually possible to deploy permanent naval forces there?
We are passing through something extraordinary which we never expected ever before. First thing, and it is not going to stop as early as we are witnessing from last 5 months. It is we have seen a continuous announcement of the ceasefire in Ukraine and Russia from last 4.5 years. But suddenly after this Hormuz, this both country came with another factor targeting the commercial vessel, which they never did before this Hormuz. So in this situation, what other option do we have? We have a diplomatic channel to discuss and take it forward, but how it is going to? We can easily analyze the situation of the seafarers on board after seeing this kind of video, or the people who were on board, how they will be feeling, how they will feel comfortable to the joint ship, whether in Black Sea, Red Sea, or they don't have even most of the vessels which are presently in the Hormuz are not having any sailing plan. Suddenly they are getting order from the company to sail out and to cross the Hormuz tonight. So how they can react? What impression they will have? We are requesting continuously to just deploy the Indian Navy within the international water territory and release a common contact detail for all the seafarers, Indian seafarers on in and out of the national and the foreign flag vessel. If they are crossing the Hormuz Strait, Black Sea, if they want to speak someone on an immediate basis, that contact details can help them to reach out, understanding the potential of the threat from where they will cross the Hormuz or not.
All right. Also, Mr. Manoj Yadav, of course, there are a couple of demands that you have come up with, like you said, about the compensation, about how there needs to be a permanent naval force as well there. But have you actually reached out to the government? Is there some sort of a letter or a delegation that met the government? And if so, what has been the response of the government?
Of course, we have filed not only in the United Nations, IMO and ILO as well, including our Prime Minister, asking to take it forward, because any individual state can file the petition in United Nations on seeking the independent inquiry, accountability, and the compensation. We have already seen or witnessed there was a condemned from the IMO General Secretary, followed by the United Nations General Secretary, or in same line with the IMO General Secretary condemning the act. If you are accepting that something wrong happened against the seafarers, then who will take the accountability? Who will decide the accountability? Some accountability has to be decided, and the poor families should get the compensation. We are witnessing with the family members who are not getting the compensation, even their own private insurance, what they have purchased in India, they are denying their to pay the compensation as per mentioning the war zone area. So in that condition, the families of those innocent seafarers are helpless. So somebody has to take initiative. Our government has to take initiative, file the petition in the United Nations and ask to pay the compensation whoever killed those innocent seafarers, whether it is Iran, US, Ukraine or Russia.
And also we have seen when the escalation happened, this is not one-off incident. There has in fact been multiple incidents where such vessels were in fact come under the attack. So of course it becomes utmost important that the Indian seafarers are protected at any cost. Many thanks, Mr. Manoj Yadav, for getting us all those details.